Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we've got 3 card pile images in front of you. You are gonna go with the one that you feel most gravitated towards. I will give you 10 seconds to choose, but please also feel free to pause the video. Okay, so if you were guided towards group 1, before we start, I am running a sale only until tonight at 11:59 p.m. It will expire. 20% off all video reading options. My link to my Etsy shop will be down below within the pinned comment. But remember, if you are a client, you are to reach out by way of email. Okay, let's get started. This is going to be a 3-section spread, so I will speed up the recording, but please also feel free to tap forward. Okay, so section 1 will talk about how you think you show up, okay? So the energy, your persona, your vibe, what you believe you project into the world. Now, these are some really powerful cards, I will say. So what I believe that you, the viewer, what you feel or believe that you project into the world is a very friendly demeanor, okay? Someone who is, pleasant, present, but also, reserved in some sense with the King of Cups. There is this equal balance of give and take. I feel like you show up in the world, very open to others. Maybe even there's this happy-go-lucky vibe, or you would consider yourself to be a pleasant, polite person. But, yeah, you do like to put or project into the world this unbotheredness, being unbothered, nothing faze you. It's interesting. I'm getting a person here who, even if you were to be dealing with a lot, you would never project it onto the world. That's what you believe. You would never project it onto the world. You would deal with it, in the background. But I think you also believe that you show up in a world where, it's like you contribute, whether it's ideas, engagements, you think you're friendly, you think, good mood. I'm getting like always in a good mood. Maybe you do, project into the world, a busyness as well too, this is a group that's very about their goals, always doing something. I do feel like you like to stay busy, but you also like to project into the world that you're a busy person, because this is not a group that is going to really want any kind of energetic vampires. So they make sure that they present that, they got things to do. They're busy. They are, and I do think you like to also have this element about you of surprise, unpredictability, or maybe spontaneity. This is not a group, I feel like, while I do feel, with the 2 of Cups, you are engaging, you do like people, you definitely like the idea of people, but there's also this like creating a safe distance, because I don't think this group really wants to be needed, because honestly, they're too busy chasing their dreams. They've got things to do. You got this guy walking through multiple doors. He's trying to chase his dreams. And then you got her celebrating her wins. So, you're not going to have this kind of energy of somebody sitting around and doing nothing. Okay. So I do believe, you make sure that you do project into the world, like, don't get attached. Don't need me. I am a person who's very busy, trying to, hit many goals out of the park and just, live my dreams. But there is this also, I'm going to add another thing with the King of Cups and the unbothered. And this I feel like is a little bit contradicting. As the reader, I can feel it. I feel like you like to project onto the world that you're not sensitive and that you can take, whatever it may be, criticism or, slights or these kind of comments or whatever it may be, if it's just sensitivity, period. But really, it's not really so true. I do think it's a protection mechanism. I am hearing those words. Those were not mine. I heard it. Protection mechanism. Especially with the unbothered, like you like to project to the world, like, it's like, you're not going to get the best of me. There's this really like this, I'm just seeing like a stone face or like a resting bee face, or it's stoic, but really underneath you could be boiling, but you'll never let the world see it, or the people that you encounter in the world see it, because in your mind, or maybe for some of you, it could be that like you just don't want to be taken, for a fool, or you don't want to be had, or, you just also just maybe even don't even want to give people that kind of access to you. So there is this like, again, very present, has the ability to be present, very good friend, likable, open to conversation. But then there's this like other side. And I think you purposely project it out because, it's either you're very busy and you just don't have the time, or it's a protection mechanism. Or it's like you just don't want to be needed. So like there's that as well too. So that's what you believe that you project out. A very, successful person, put together, maybe even very stylish, I don't know why I'm seeing this, but for some of you, it's like you like to make sure you present yourself very well. And it's not even about like physical appearance. It's just like, again, ducks in a row, all I's dotted, T's crossed, like strong, very strong in energy. But yeah, like there's this barrier. There's a barrier, and I think you purposely do that, but that's fine. This is not a judgment thing. It's just kind of what I'm seeing here. And again, like what I stated before, there could be reasons for this. Okay. Let's move forward. So how others actually perceive you. So the frequency people feel from you, your true energetic impact or aura. So like what people perceive. And remember, everybody's entitled to their perception, but people's perception is, where they're at energetically, frequency wise. So if you do get rubbed the wrong way with what I pick up here, you don't need to. And that's your issue, not mine. Okay. People are not going to view us always in the light that, we view ourselves. So let's just see what happens. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So listen, wow, we pretty much got here. Okay. So whatever you're putting out, they are picking up. So I would say with these groups, with this section, they definitely understand, or they're picking up that busy aura, that energy of like, I got a lot on my plate, or I'm busy, I'm chasing my, dreams. People would say like, you're definitely a go-getter. You're not given the impression of like, a couch potato. Okay. You're always doing something, or you're going somewhere, or you're trying to get something done. You're busy. And yeah, so we've got uninterested. So this is beautiful. But listen, maybe you may not like this, but it is what we picked up on what you're trying to put out there. People perceive you or feel it's like there's this lack of energy, and it's also like energy I can't pick up on. Like I feel like if I'm them, it slides right through my finger. I can't figure you out. I do feel like, this is great that this came through, because again, it's what I picked up before. You are a nice person. Nobody's going to say that this group is not a nice person, or that, they don't have a kind word, or that they wouldn't, give you their last $5 if, you were hungry. But there's just this other side of you that is just I can't figure out. And it's a secretive side. You give off this secretive, like you're not an open book, especially with your business. So, people may relate their perception of you because they don't know nothing about you, or it's like literally drops you give, it's not like the floodgates, and it takes a while to get to know you. But even a lot of the times your moves, it's like, and to be honest, it's like nobody's business. And this, if you do this, kudos to you, because I actually give advice all the time that, nobody deserves to know what your next move is. Like, why? Who are they? But this could be family. This could be friends who consider themselves like people in your life that are special or important. So it's like, why don't they know? But even if these are just acquaintances or work colleagues, you have this surprising way about you. Like, your moves are just really, we can't see them coming. And listen, it could be that it's not plans. It could just be your moves. So, one day you are with that Two of Cups, very present. And then the next day you're just, I don't know, energetically somewhere else, or you didn't call for 3 days, or you didn't return a text for 3 days, or you're off doing something else, or you're just detached. I mean, that card coming up, Eight of Cups, is amazing because I felt it. Like, there's this detachedness about you. People, again, your energy, it slips right through I feel like they can't grab onto it. They don't understand it. You're not easily figure outable. That's not even a word. Figured out. You're not easily figured out. And we've got this here. Listen, sometimes people feel like you're putting on, because of this other energy that you give, when you are actually eventually nice. Sometimes people do question it. Like, is this real? Is it real? Or is this person being fake with me? Do they really feel that way? Or are they just, pretending? There is this aspect. People feel like, just, and it's because it goes side by side with this other energy. But again, you could be just very busy. You could, this could be coming from needy people, like needy people. I think, honestly, that's what sounds right, because why would another busy person feel this way, right? But majority of people, this is how they perceive you, like, I don't know which way or who I'm going to get with this person, like you watching her or him. Some days, she's all, into me and, really present and, like we're predictable. And then other days it's just you feel energetically like you're somewhere else, or maybe it's like your goals get you caught up and you're just missing in action. Who the hell knows? But nobody would say that you're not a nice person. But I would say, with the heart on their sleeve, when you do something really nice, it can sometimes shock people, because maybe it's like they didn't really think you thought that much of them, or you would remember them. Like, I'm telling you, there's something unpredictable about you. Maybe even in the way that you love. It's like, no, it's like, you remembered my birthday? Like, okay. Like, you didn't even respond to my text for 5 days. Like, I didn't think, like, there is this like not being made to feel important. I'm going to also say that that's something I'm hearing. People also feel with your energy, they're not like, whatever you're giving out towards them is, they don't feel that important. They don't feel important to you. Like it's like you could take them or leave them. There's a lot of guessing. There's a lot of guessing with this group. Interesting. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so the truth between the two. What Spirit reveals as your authentic energy signature, the essence that unites both sides. Okay, so, like, listen, this group is definitely with the Hermit. They have introverted qualities, but very individualistic qualities. This is a group that rides alone, seriously, just, I'm just getting from this overall spread, like you're very concerned about your future, or you're very focused on your future. And, you've got goals. Like even with these two cards, don't worry. I know they're very alarming, but this is just really about goals. Like you are trying to fill your pockets. You are busy. And this here, don't worry about that. That could be that, like, listen, marriage is on your mind, but also being, like building that family, or maybe this is even makes sense that some of you have a family and you're very tied up with your family. But this could also be that the focus is the future. I'm getting that from these two cards. And honestly, you don't have time. You're not trying to get caught out here, slipping or, in need of help. So what blends the both is just really that, like, you're very uniquely you, but it's like you're comfortable with yourself. And I think with the Hermit as well here, this is like a person who tends to self isolate at times, or just need to kind of like take a break from people or go within. You definitely, I feel like, could even be like at the heart and the root of it, a homebody. You just trying to make an effort because you have to interact with people. This is not a world where like you can really just like avoid that at all costs, okay? But I also think that you're also very, very, with these two cards. I hold on. I don't know what word I want to use. I don't want to use the word cynical or suspicious, but at the root, you have your radar up. You don't necessarily trust everybody who comes your way, and it takes time, but you definitely don't want to get caught up in any kind of mess. So you're very, very selective, okay? And I do think there's only a few that you trust. So I can understand why people would feel like this, around you. It could just be that it takes time to get into your good graces or get to know you. But really, what it is at the end of the day, you're busy. You're focused on your future, okay? You may even be very tied up with your own circle or your family, but you also at the end of the day are not trying to get, add to your life with any kind of drama, any kind of issues. So you kind of steer clear, or you project this energy to kind of weed out problems. Maybe you have a history of really bad situations that have caused you to be like this, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And I would never urge anybody to kind of go against this. You do what you feel guided to do. But I understand, like, honestly, people it's just trash. It's just trash. It's very hard to find people that are decent. So I feel like by what you're doing, with that energetic shield, I think that's exactly what you should be doing. And especially if you are busy, like if that really relates to you, like you're constantly trying to be 10 steps ahead, then like it makes total sense, because you don't have time for this. Okay. Little side message I want to give you. You have weeded out a lot of issues by doing this. Okay. There were a lot of people that did not deserve to be, immediately next to you. Okay. So like you are doing the right thing. That's something Spirit really wants to say to this group. Okay. All right. Take care. All right. So if you were gravitated towards group 2, before we start, I am offering a 20% off sale off all reading video options. You can find the link down in the pinned comment to my Etsy shop. Remember, if you're a client and you have my email me. We will apply it. It's only good until 11:59 p.m. tonight. So if you want to, consider, you need to act fast, okay? I'm going to draw the cards on camera. I will speed up the recording, but please also feel free to tap forward. Okay, so section 1, we are going to look at how you think you show up. So the energy, persona, or vibe you, the viewer, believe you project onto the world. Oh, this is such a fun reading. Oh wow. Okay, hold on here. I think this group knows exactly. There's an element to this group that knows exactly, what they are projecting. And I do think it's, as opposed to group one, where I felt like there was something that they were doing as far as a mechanism, like a protection mechanism. I just think this group doesn't give two shits. I think your personality has been working for you for a while, like this energy that you've been giving. I do think you're pretty fun. Okay. I think you understand that you project to the world that you're a very fun, maybe even like a no holds bar type person, tell it like it is. You understand that, you project, this forwardness, or like, when everybody's scared to say something, you'll say it, or like your initiative about things. Okay. You're not like in the corner, scared. Okay. I personally, the reason why I think this group understands what they're projecting and why I think it's real is because I think you were born this way. I really do think this is really true, authentic energy. But I'm not going to lie. I do think sometimes it can keep people at bay. Okay. You believe that you project onto the world, a leader. Okay. A leader, like, not to be messed with, kind person. But you are aware, I do feel like as well, that this personality may have not always worked for you. It maybe sometimes doesn't even make you the most likable, but you were like really unwilling to ever change. So like, again, it's very authentic. Okay. I think you also project what you believe you project onto the world is, this is like very hard to put into words because I just feel like I have a very aware person, but it's like they understand, they understand it is what it is, but they're very aware. You have a very heightened sense of awareness when it comes to what you're projecting, but you're okay with it. And maybe you weren't always okay with it, but you've become okay with it. I think you give the impression of, I'm trying to find my words, like, and just trying to pick the best words to use. You could be, for some of you, a bit snappy, a bit like, you have that talk back style, or just like, sometimes there's ways about you. It can kind of seem a bit like out of line or off the wall. Like, maybe you're like just running through, like presenting yourself in places very loudly, or you come in and it's just like you stop the whole room. But I think we've got an aware person, because to have this card here with memories, flashbacks, trauma, and side effects, I think you're aware sometimes that what you project onto the world can be sometimes your traumas. Like, people can see it, or they can feel it, or they can, with this kind of behavior, it sometimes gets translated into that. Like, okay, maybe these people assume that you're this and that, or you're like this and that because of that. Like, this group, I would say, has probably dealt with a lot of like stereotypes being thrown on them. But I also feel like with this group, you have been haunted by this whole topic. You have been. It has haunted you because you're just being you, but you may not really be the most liked for it. So it's really caused maybe even some trauma. I can kind of relate to this group. At this point, I just don't try to do anything different. Whoever's for me is for me. Whoever doesn't, oh well, I just don't care. But I can kind of resonate because, And especially if you're a woman, because there's a lot of masculine energy, right? And I think you understand that you put that out. You have this, for a woman, you can be sometimes a bit, spicy, okay? Spicy in ways where people think you should be more docile. But I think you're aware. I'm very curious as to what section 2 says, because this group is so aware. But I don't feel like you care. So you may have just clicked on the ring to see what I had to say. But, with that Temperance card, to me, it's like you're being natural. And I think it works for you. Because it's one of those things like, even though, most people don't like it or don't really gravitate to me as much or as well as others, it's fine, because whoever is for me will be for me. I think you also tend to project out into the world like you're not here to waste time. You're not here to be, I feel like, dragged down in committal. You do understand that that's something very important that needs to be put out energetically, because this is not a group that really, really wants to waste any kind of time with anyone. And so sometimes maybe it's that you are putting it out there, just real straight up about it. Like, this is what I'm looking for. Can you provide it? Okay, no, then next. And that could be, you could be like this in your job. You could be like this with people. You are a force to be reckoned with, but I think you do this on purpose as well too, because you don't want to be taken, okay? You don't want to be taken for a ride. You don't want anyone thinking that they can, get one over on you. And maybe you do this for a reason. Maybe there is something from the past that has caused you to be, a lot more out there with this kind of energy. So like, I'm not blaming you. But you like to project out to the world that you're very smart. You're smart, you're slick, you're educated, not to be messed with. Like, you come at me, like I'll come at you. Or, very protective type of energy too. You like to put out there, especially if you have kids. Oh my God, this is not the group to mess with the kids, okay? If they've got any, you've got like a serious mama bear here, okay? You also, I feel like, project, or what you believe you project out onto the world is this aspect of not being easily impressed, like do something, come with something better than that. It would be very interesting if this group were like, some people here were managers, because this is perfect for that, But again, if you look at the section that I'm reading for, it says the energy and persona or vibe you believe you project onto the world. That can be sometimes very misconstrued. Like, you can think you're putting out this and it's not that, but this group is aware. It's different. I have to change it with this section. You are aware of what you're putting out. You do it purposely. And it could be to weed out the people that just really are not, like you, because this is a ride or die. This group is a ride or die. Like, when they give you their word, that's it. Or they commit to you, that's it. They don't have the time for the BS. They don't want to be run around. This group could be just very busy as well too, just doesn't have no time for that, okay? How others actually perceive you. So let's see if there's a difference here, okay? The frequency people feel from you, your true energetic aura or impact on others. Let's see what they're picking up on you. This reading is so fun. It has been so fun. I'm only on group 2, but I'm enjoying it as a reader. So listen, I've got 2 set of people coming through here. In group 1, I had the majority of how they were viewing group 1. With this group, I've got 2 distinct set of people. One set of people, okay, that first group, I just feel like, you fit right in. You fit right in. I feel right at home with you. I want you in my circle. Um, you even can kind of sometimes seem like this larger than life personality, or like someone that they've never met before. So like we definitely want you in the group. You're fun and you are one hell of a party. Like if I'm celebrating something, I want you there. You're funny. You got stories. You've got, like it's just, look at this Three of Cups. Like I want you celebrating with me. And listen, we got Michael Jackson here on the impersonator card, but I just feel like, you could be a storyteller. You could bring the vibes. You may even have some impressions that you do that are hilarious. But I will say that this first group that I'm picking up on, they like you so much that they even want to maybe sometimes be like you. Now that's not too bad as long as it doesn't go too far, but I'm pretty sure this group, there's somebody who's watching who has dealt with that a lot. Like people trying to dress like them, act like them, because there's this aura about you. It's just so bright, and you just seem to get like whatever you want and it looks like it's working out for you. You always look happy. It's just, I don't know. There's just, people gravitate to you. Like, so it's like, definitely, people want to embody this. And definitely, I just feel like, and I'm going to say this, whether this is your good behavior or your bad behavior, I just feel like we've got people who just really like cheer you on, from the side. It's like when you're good, you're so good. When you're bad, you're so much even gooder. It's, what this reminds me of? People may not know what I'm talking about, but this kind of reminds me of Dorinda Medley on Real Housewives of New York. When she was bad, she was so bad, but it was hilarious to watch. It was so good, especially when she was telling off people. So it's kind of giving me that vibe. Like, I just feel like, people like really want to support you. They feel gravitated to like support your, behavior, whether it's good or bad. Okay. Then I've got another set of people who I feel like I'm just seeing them and it's like it's a shock to the system. Like they get very nervous around you, very nervous around you. You're a bit too much for them. The frequency could be a little too strong. Now, I like that the Ace of Cups is here because this tells me, it's a very high frequency. It's a frequency of love. It could even be fifth dimension. Ace of Cups is 5D for sure, energy. But I feel like for others, okay, and I'm going to say it, and I don't usually talk like this. I haven't brought this up in a while. It is what it is, though. There are a ton of haters, though. And sometimes I just feel like, and the reason why I felt that jolt was because also to this card, hit the brakes, like, whoa. Okay, whoa, and then I'm retreating, like I'm backing away, like I'm not sure of this one here, okay? To some people, it's abrasive, okay? Your energy is abrasive, and that could be that it's just not a frequency match. Like maybe they are operating from a different one, like 3D. You're gonna have if this makes sense that you're operating in 5D, you're gonna have 3 people not wanting to be anywhere near you, okay? But I also feel like this kind of energy that you give off has in the past or is currently has attracted a lot of like negativity. Like we've got screenshot here. Okay. Like, I don't know if this makes sense that people have tried to like get evidence on you or like proof or, find out about you, like to discredit you. This is kind of, to be honest, very, it's obsessive. Okay. Anybody who takes their time to do that, like, what are you doing? Okay. Like, don't you have something better to do? So it's a bit obsessive, but they can also feel at times like they can't get a grip on who you are because they don't know if what you're portraying is real or not. So I'm gonna be very honest. For some people, like they can't be around you. They just can't. You've got people either flocking to you and can't get enough of you and really love you, really love you. Like, the personality, the flaws, everything. Okay. Like in some people's minds, there's just nothing you can do wrong. It's like the cutest thing ever. Especially, I don't know if some of you would resonate with like your tantrums or when you kind of like go off on a tangent. But then we've got others who are very like the radar is up, like suspicious as F, like just don't trust you. They don't feel like you're this aura you're given, this frequency, like they can trust you. And I think with this group, like it should be pretty obvious, because I feel like these people make it very obvious. Like their whole body reacts. Their eyes may get big or they may go quiet. They definitely reveal themselves very quickly, but I wouldn't be surprised if this group has had people who have tried to tarnish them, create smear campaigns, go and try to turn everybody else against them. Like, I just wouldn't be surprised. So it's conflicting here. It's conflicting. And that hangman, like there are people who just literally sit on the sidelines regarding you. They will sit there like they need to kind of scope it out. They don't trust it. They need to be able to trust it. But you know what I like about that card? Here's the kicker, guys. So this guy, he's upside down for a reason. Okay, that's not just random. So he needs to look at things from a different perspective. And he also needs to evolve. Okay, that's the light behind him. If these people who, could view you like that, like the second group that are not really the most trusting, if they could evolve, if they do evolve, their perspective would change. So I wouldn't really be concerned with this, because those that don't gravitate to you, that card proves to me that their it's where they're functioning from in their perspectives. They're not viewing you accurately. But you're quite something. You're quite something here in group 2, especially with that card. With the impersonator card, or the like wants to be like you, acts like you. I mean, you're definitely someone to copy. I'm not saying everybody should copy everybody, but I'm just saying like you're definitely like an influencer. You're like you influence people just by energetically being you. Okay. So section 3 will speak to the truth between the two. Okay. What spirit reveals as your authentic energy signature, the essence that unites both sides. How crazy is that we have sidetracked with like 2 different paths, because this is pointing to, for me, the 2 groups of people. I think with this group, you either love this person or you just can't stand them. Okay. Yeah, you're you. I think this is what comes with the territory, guys. That's what I'm picking up with these cards. It's just what comes with the territory. I think you are actually, you were born to shake things up, okay? And I'm going to say another thing with the Tower. I do believe you may be a catalyst, okay? Now, if you're like, what's that, Chitra? You may have signed up here to trigger people into their evolution. That's not going to be an easy path to take, okay? It will come with its setbacks, which can look like what I mentioned to you before. The smear campaigns, the intense hatred. Look at this with the bad reputation. Look at that, right? That coming up again, it just makes me feel like, that just sticks, like people have tried to out you or to defame you or, just, ruin you. It's fine. It's fine. It says more about them than you. But I do believe here, unrequited love. This has been difficult to carry. because with this group, this may even be that, we've got a chosen one, they come into these families, they just pop up on the scene. They're not liked, they're not treasured, they're not cherished. It's not easy. So when I'm talking about what spirit is revealing about your authentic energy signature, it's that I think you are energetically authentic. It's just that, like, I think we've got you here as playing this role, okay, to kind of, again, cause destruction or, shake things up. But unfortunately, sometimes it's like, it's a double-edged sword, because then, it kind of falls on you sometimes in a bad way, You're trying to do this good thing, but people on the receiving end don't see it like that, right? So, we've got thief, robbed, lost, theft, physical or emotional. The crazy thing here too is that I also feel like you have this kind of personality as well, to kind of like teach untrusting people how to love from an unconditional place, or even people who don't have the capacity to love like that, like they want to change, they want to, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this group, there's been a lot of people who have tried to change you or recommend you be like this or be like that, but you're also working to show people like what real love is, like acceptance. Okay. That's kind of what I'm saying. Acceptance. And it's not easy, because look at this, like you've dealt with a lot of this, you are on this side, just being authentically you. And this guy, this stoic guy, he can represent everybody that I was speaking of in group 2, who's just like, no, rejection, rejection. And I do think with this group, you have been mistreated with the thief card. I do think you've been hurt. It's not the easiest route, I'm telling you. So there she is with that no. This really, you freak people out. People who are, just wherever they're functioning from, it's like they need more information on you. And sometimes it's really interesting. I'm saying that very factually, okay? It's not even just about giving you more time. Sometimes people just, they don't believe in you. They don't believe you can be this great. And they start, jumping on and the internet and looking or trying to find something, It's like, this is sick, actually. And I wouldn't be surprised too that like if this is coming up as an aura as well too, to like out the past life enemies, honestly. Past life enemies, like you could have a type of soul where it's like you've set out to do so much, but it's like you're so elevated in a sense, or, you've got this super hyper mission that it will cause a lot of the darkness, to come for you. And maybe it's going into people, because that's what it can do. So I think this group has stories. I bet my bottom dollar this group has stories. I would love to hear some of them in the comment section. Like, you may know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, life has been difficult, really difficult. But it's crazy at the same time, because it's like you're playing out your mission. You're playing out what you set to do here. And it's not going to be easy. It's not. There are people who I see them, they go under the radar. Nobody even notices them. They have the most, like what looks like the most peaceful life. And then you have these other people with these, like this glow, this glow. They just walk in the room and but it's going to cause a lot of jealousy. It's going to cause a lot of like siphoning with the thief, like people who want to, rob you from this or take from this or cause destruction. It does create a lot of jealousy and haters and people who just, I don't know, it's like the darkness. I just see it going in them, it's polarity with your light and just trying to cause destruction, out you and all kinds of things. But it's okay though, because guess what? They will never win. You can never win against a chosen one. I've seen proof of this and proof of this and proof of this. And I'm not just speaking to myself. I've seen other people who have it. And when people do things to them, it is shocking how fast karma finds them, how fast they get found out about when they try to attack one like this, like you. Okay? So you are protected. You just need to know that. I need to convey that to you. Like, do not worry about this reading. Do not get scared. No one forming any kind of evil towards you shall prosper. You are protected. Take care. Okay, so if you were gravitated towards group 3, before we start, I am offering a 20% off sale only until midnight tonight. If you'd like to, get in on that, act fast because it will be over soon. You can find the link to my Etsy shop in the pinned comment. Remember though, if you are a client and you have my email, make sure you're reaching out to me by email. I will happily apply the discount. So I have to get my cards out on camera. I will speed up the recording, but please also feel free to tap forward. Okay, so group or section 1. Okay, this will speak to your energy, your persona and vibe that you the viewer, believe that you project into the world. This is conflicting. I feel like you project, or what you believe you project onto the world is this feeling of like, do you hide? Listen, let's be real here, okay? Do you hide aspects of yourself? Like, I don't know what this is. I feel like I've got somebody who's watching who really doesn't want to wear or is trying to like hide their trauma. So at times it's like I've got this persona I put on, but I can't stop hearing this hiding. Like I hide things. And listen, I don't know if this would resonate with you, that you are into spirituality. I mean, it must, you're here, okay? Like, I don't know if this is like a tarot card thing, or you're into esoteric, or like, what do you call it? Like the occult, okay? Or you understand that you have this real defining power. The thing is that this group, what is this? I feel like you're trying to hide your power, hide your light for fear of either being found out, or you're doing this to protect yourself. I think you try to appear a lot more timid and quiet and shy and introvert than you really are. And listen, I understand why people do what they do. This is not a judgment reading. I feel like I'm trying to tread carefully in my life. So I put up these shields around me so that people can't really see me. And listen, I don't know if there's a reason you're doing this. Maybe something has happened, maybe there's things, maybe at one point you were your most authentic, truest self, but you just got stomped on, it bit you in the butt. But it could be that there's something that you like to do, or, maybe, I don't know if you're hiding this because you have some quirks about you, but like you feel like you need to hide it from the world. I feel like, to answer this question, you put out a false sense of yourself, but I understand why you do it, because it's like a protection. But you're actually really powerful. So maybe you're in the transition of becoming more confident or braver, or maybe you would resonate with being more confident, but I'm hearing like play it safe. Like I like to play it safe. I like to, and you may be very private about this, and that's great. Listen, I'm with you. You think I can go out there when I meet people and tell them what I do for a living? I mean, A, it's not their business. Like they don't even deserve to know that. But second of all, I did that in the past. I've done that. And the way that people's faces just changed, it was like something went into them. And I was like, never again. People are not ready for this. But it may not even be about like tarot cards for you. It just might be some aspect of yourself. And you feel like with the Ace of Swords, like, I just got to protect this at all costs because I just don't want it to smack me in the face. But I also may feel here at times that this is also, maybe a maneuvering technique that you put out as well too, so that you do not become assuming, or that nobody assumes you or has assumptions or is on to you. Like maybe you treat life like a game. Okay, which it is a game. It's all a game. It's all a theatrical production, okay? But maybe this is about, like nobody will see me coming, don't give away all my cards. I don't want to give away all my cards. I don't want anyone using anything against me. So I think you, because even here, you see the fingers being pointed with the public embarrassment. Like, we definitely don't want that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Because you're so powerful, especially with this card and that card. Oh, wow. But we've got a 5 of Pentacles. So I feel like you put out this. I mean, he's bringing forth this, is that espresso or is it a cappuccino? I have no idea. But it's just, it's very unassuming. Really what you would be like a shot of Patron, like with a tequila shot inside. Well, Patron is tequila, but like, like a double shot of Patron. Okay, that's what you would really be like. But it's like, I put this forward. Very unassuming, pretty. It's beautiful. It's just like no one's gonna assume anything out of this, but like symbology, what I'm talking about, right? Symbolically. But it's not what it is. But again, with the Ace of Swords, I think this is protection. I think you could just be a very private person. So, you're very aware of what you're putting out, but I wouldn't say it's really you. I think if I get to know you, I start finding out all these things and I'm like, my head is spinning. Like I never would have thought. And I'm going to say something. A lot of you, this could go back to past lives. Like, I'm serious. Like, just, there could be something like fear or like residue, a memory of a residue of being outed or casted away for like standing in your truth and your power. So in this life, you're like, screw that. I'm going to do it a lot more calculated. Okay? Because what you may have done in those lifetimes didn't allow you to complete your mission. So in this lifetime, you're like, no, we're doing it differently. Oh my goodness, this is so interesting. So interesting. Okay, let's see how people are perceiving you now. So how others actually perceive you. So the frequency people feel from you, or what they feel from your energetic impact or aura. Oh man, my eyes went straight right here. So listen, if that makes sense to you, what I picked up in the first section, you better believe they're picking up on it. So you really are unassuming. You are unassuming. People could really feel like you just really detached, but like, listen, for some of you, unassuming. I'm not going to say unintelligent, but they would not think that you know half the things you know, okay? I do feel like with the you don't need them, they may also feel to some degree like, it's a cordial connection. It's a real, it feels a bit dry. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I want to be honest here. It feels dry. I don't even know that I'm feeling too much, but I will say something though. People do like to talk about you. It is behind your back, but it's not the nicest things. I want to be very honest. That's the kind of vibe I'm picking up here, because we got a page of swords here. That is a gossip card. It's a gossip and it's an innuendo card. And I do think, but you may be okay with that. As long as they are talking like that, it's cool, because really they don't know half the things I know. This is like really interesting, when it comes to like this game that's being played, because people think they have all the cards or they have the leverage, but it's not true, because whatever they do talk about you, it's an act that you could be putting on. It's giving like head in the clouds, busy doing this and that, but like it's very unassuming. It's very unassuming. Let them talk. Let them talk. I keep hearing that. Let them talk. Because whatever they're talking about, it's not even factual. Can I give you an example of what this is? Okay, let me give you an example so you can have a better understanding. Let's say you purposely walk around in, very moderate clothing, like it's cheap, but it gets the job done, okay? Let's say people are talking about, your outfit choices and like, doesn't she have any money? But it's like, but you're laughing because you really have a lot of money. You know what I mean? It's just, you're not going to like present it. You don't want to be a walking target. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of funny in a way, because it's like they're talking shit about what you wear and how ugly your clothes may be. And maybe how you have this big job and how you can't afford, but it's like really you're the one laughing all the way to the bank. It's that type of thing. I think this group has had to do what they had to do, because there's been a ton of like enemies around, untrusting people. You would probably understand if I said to you that, it's very rare to find good people. So I feel like you've had to do this, because it's like, and maybe this is just that I'm picking up on those specific people, that's who's coming through today. The ones that are really not there for your best interest. Now, even with the Knight of Wands and the always partying and the legal issues, I feel like there's a lot of gossip. There's a lot of gossip about everything that you do. Why is this coming up though? Okay. The frequency people feel from you, it does feel a little bit scattered. It feels like it's a little bit all over the place. It's not really in one defining direction. But people actually don't feel like you give two shits about them. You keep your distance with that death card. Like seriously, with the flag, it's like, I don't know. I'm seeing it like it's a boundary card. Like, it's just like you're everywhere, but like you don't care. You don't seem like you're interested in me. You're not present when I talk to you. Maybe it's like you're always partying with someone else, or, you have your few select people you talk to, but when it comes to me, you don't let me in. It's very detached. But I feel like people, you're easy. You're an easy to pick on type person. That's what they feel like you're gonna be. But that's the thing where the first section comes in, is that you surprise them. I wouldn't be surprised if this group has taken a lot of people to like, court, or, sought out lawyers. Like, just people didn't think that they had the capability, or you had the capability to do this. But I also want to say another thing. If you've been in legal issues, people do talk about this as well too. If it's a divorce, it's a very hot topic. But I also feel like symbolically with this card, like even her eyes are like, she has a bandage on her eyes. It's like, she's very unassuming, but then she has that sword. So when it comes to it, she'll strike, there is a suspiciousness about you, like how much you really know. I think people do pick up on the first section a little bit, like you're withholding, you do withhold, you are playing maybe more, sillier than you let on to be. Like you're maybe very more, a lot more smart. But, why are you doing this? There's a lot of scratching head. I'm scratching my head about you. I can't figure you out, but I do feel a shred from like when other people's views you. I do feel a shred that like you know more than you letting on. You're just playing with me. You're toying with me. Something along those lines. We've all felt that way about somebody, You can sense like there's an act, This is the most intricate pile I think I've picked up on. Yeah, this is group 3 is the most intricate, and it's not the easiest. And again, I think there are reasons why you do what you do, or why you have to do what you do. We all do something to keep ourselves going, right? And I think with this group, like there's just been a lot of chaos and drama, and you've learned somehow, and this is what works for you. But I wouldn't say the most likable, not the most likable when people perceive your energy. I'm not feeling like I want to get to know you. I feel like I really want to study you. I want to watch your behavior. I get confused a lot by the things that you say. I feel like you are playing mind games with me sometimes in conversation. There's a lot of like, I ask you a question and you are going this direction. I don't feel like you're the most honest. And sometimes I feel like your energy can also be really out of whack, in the sense where it's like maybe you act like this, and then I see you on your Facebook and you're all of a sudden some different person. There's this like duality here. Like with the always partying and the Knight of Wands, there's these actions you take and people are like with their jaw open, like, I did not take her for that. Like seriously, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if it's that, you are jumping off a cliff, or, bungee jumping, or just, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like for each one of you, but there's this shocking, I feel like if other people are viewing you, they just don't really, I don't think I know who you are. I really don't. And I don't think that you give two rats about me. It's like a take it or leave it. You seem uninterested. Yeah, etc., etc. Okay, let's move forward here. Okay. So this section is going to speak to what Spirit reveals as your authentic energy signature, the essence that unites both sides. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Yeah, definitely a High Priestess. I'm not surprised. Yeah, very, very, very careful, methodical person. I think you are a beautiful person. I need to say this, okay? I think group 3, I probably think a lot of people have left, already clicked off the video. Let me know if you're still here. You are a very beautiful person, but you are super selective. The High Priestess, she's not going to give you much. I'm not surprised she's here. I said, I'm sorry. I'm not surprised she is here. She's going to really give you the minimal, and you have to feel her. You have to be able to have that awareness to feel her. understand why she does what she does, but she's hella secretive. And it could be that for some of you, you could identify as a very unique or complicated person, and you know that most people are just really not about it. So what you choose to do is just like, again, hide. Or there could be things about you, secrets or things you like we picked up, that you just don't really, you want to go slow, okay? You don't want to be judged. You don't want your stuff out there. But I do feel like with the 10 of Pentacles, like, you are very grounding to be around. You do make a great friend or, family member. Like, as soon as you have that trust, like you watching, have that trust, you're the most beautiful person. But you need facts. You need facts first. Like, you need to make sure you know who the person you're engaging with is. Before you really let out your real side, because your real side is colorful. It's really colorful. And again, you may know a lot of things that most people don't. You may have some certain hobbies that most people don't. But it could just be like you, like who you are. And most people have not gravitated towards that or taken well to it or used it against you. So you need to make very sure of what you're doing and who you are, letting loose with. Now, people will never be able to get anything on you with this no facts. We have never has the facts, makes SHIT up, and lies. People will not ever really be able to, like, they can try, but they're not going to be able to succeed with you. That's the good thing here, okay? But the other thing is that with this card, a few of you really have some trauma around being believed, okay? So this could also be adding, remember when I said to you before, I feel like maybe something has happened, that has caused you to be like this. Maybe you have like this pattern, or there was a history with not being believed. So like that's also shut you down, because I think people have labeled you as this too, a liar. And that, like your theories, your thoughts, they come out of nowhere. They have no real tangible, logic to it. And listen, now that I'm picking up on that, like, I really wouldn't be surprised if you've been labeled like crazy or conspiracy theorist, like all of these things. Okay. But again, this card, I'm not going to read it, but it really does speak to, conflict of interest. Okay. So again, you're very careful, again, with who you're allowing in. But if this is at a job or, you're always thinking about that, like how, like not mixing the two worlds, or, I don't want to overstep with a boundary with this person. I want to keep it like, because if I get too close, it can just blow up. But with this, it's interesting as well too, because I think people assume this is you. It's so far from the truth. But I also feel like you are like a very colorful person. And I think you do understand your complexities, and you do get bothered very easily. So you keep your distance, because honestly, people to you are just trash, okay? And less drama, better for me type of thing. We've got this as well too. This is popping up now again. This is going to be specifically for the people who resonate with, being into the occult, okay? Maybe people have, this is something that you have to protect at all costs, because people will label you a witch, or they will say, like, what are you doing? This is evil. This is, whatever. Like this coming out again, I would not be surprised if we've got some people here who understand that they are in a career, like just like what I'm doing, that they have to hide, unfortunately, because people are not ready for it. But it could also be, your hobbies. It's a part of you. It's a part of you, but it's something. And High Priestess, she will dabble in that. Absolutely. But yeah, I think there's a side of you that needs protecting at all costs, and you understand that you've been given that by spirit. So, you're very selective. And I just think you need to keep doing what you're doing. Like, I don't give much life to allowing people just to come in. People have to earn that. And, it's not, people don't deserve to just have access to you that easily. But if you have this unique way, or you have a uniqueness, there's something very unique about you, it does need protection at all costs. I am going to say that. Okay. So spirit's not mad. Okay. They understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. And I just think you should continue. Okay. All right, group 3, take care.